No,
It's Xbox
Crazy.
Nation.
We're live.
Nuts.
It's Xbox Nation. We are live, and we're having a good time in the pre-show. Like, hey, Mooch, have you ever had such a fun time in the pre-show that you had trouble starting the show because you're telling jokes and having a good time? And
It happens.
Yeah, because no, they're
Friday.
in jokes, so nobody would get it.
Right.
But hilarious to us anyway. So
Yep. Okay. It's
Exact-
not like lady isn't my name, guys. It's fine. It's fine.
Hi.
I'm
Well,
okay.
you're one of the guys, technically, right?
Yeah, I'm a bro. Yeah.
You're one of the bros.
Dude, bro.
Yeah, because I play do bro shooters, right? That's why.
Dude,
Oh,
okay.
you're one of the best at gears that I know. That's the most dude bro shooter ever.
Okay, I'm fine.
So I mean, yeah, that's great. So if you guys are just joining us, Xbox Nation, please hit the hit the like button, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. We'd really appreciate it. I'm gonna get started with the introduction so they don't take forever. What's up,
They
Mooch?
will.
How's it going, man?
What's up, buddy? No, listen, I didn't get a chance to read the mile-long list of topics tonight, but there's been so much going on. Twitter, for once, was actually on fire today. So between
I was on
games,
Twitter today
right?
for longer today than I was in like a very
saw
long
that.
time.
Yeah.
And not really arguing.
No.
I would just say that, I was just having like, conversations with some good people about differences opinions when it comes to certain things. And,
that
it's
was
true.
the vaguest of vague I have ever heard in my life, man.
Yeah, we were just having difference of opinions, man. It happens, you know what I mean?
It kind of
Like-
reminded me of the Matrix there for a second. When all that controversy was going on, it was like Crap swooped in, just like Neo did, right? To save, what's his face there, Morpheus, just before the two trucks collided. It was amazing. Like, it was nothing, and then Crap just out of nowhere for about an hour and a half. So listen, Twitter was on fire, Crap. And I mean, there's a lot of, I wouldn't use the word controversy. I'd say healthy debate.
Yeah, I would say that too,
right?
because I was talking about, like, if you guys didn't know, it's like Cold Eastwood and a few other people about some crossplay stuff and about just Microsoft's general direction. And a lot of this had to do with, like, I guess the NPD sales came out and it didn't look real good for Xboxes in January. And, we'll get into all that stuff. But let me keep introducing the fine folk of Xbox Nation. We've got the saltiest gamer. He has salt just like that guy who salts all the stuff, right? Like, that's how you actually do that, Salty. I always wondered, man, do you do that?
It's kind of like a fairy. You sprinkle, fairy dust. Mine's salt. It comes out. I sprinkle it everywhere, so.
Gotcha, dude. I would do that too. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I just pictured Salt with wings and a tutu.
I'm just like,
it's so weird.
Oh no.
Salt everywhere. Yeah, that'll be my next avatar. So
There we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just got finished with the Crackdown 3 review. That 60 Metacritic game that you're not supposed to have fun with.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually had fun in it. So
I know. Go figure.
Oh, it's crazy because you know what, Mooch, who, by the way, I'm hopeful that Mooch hates on all games now that are sort of like middle of the road there, because that way they're going to be they're going to be successful at that.
I can't stop. I gotta be honest with you. We'll get into it. I can't stop playing Crackdown.
Exactly. So that's good to see and good to hear as well. We've also got Foxy. What's going on, Foxy?
Hi. Oh well, I was just disappointed because I can't say fun anymore. I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm sorry, anybody in the chat. If we say the word, we don't really mean to hurt you. But yeah, just go about your day. Try your own games. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag fun, right?
Oh no, don't say that crap. You get in trouble.
Hashtag do your own thing. If it or not, who cares, right?
Yeah,
It's up to you.
exactly.
Can we spell it though? Can we go FUN?
Oh.
You could try, but the kids, at least you won't hurt the kids. That's fine.
Yes, because they can't spell it anyway. So yeah, we've also got Xbot 4397246 What's up, bro? How's it going, man?
Otherwise known as 448, and thank you again,
117.
Crap, for me having to deal with all numbers, including pi, when people refer to my name.
Oh man, I know, dude. I had that effect on you, and I also did the cowboy thing where people were saying that your grandma
from, but that was like once you said it, that was it. Wildfire.
Yeah, everybody's
everywhere.
like Xbot just doesn't like Red Dead 2 because his grandma dressed him up as a cowboy when he was little, and so that's really like how that came about. So
I think I'm gonna have to do a new Photoshop, man. I'm gonna have to do a new Photoshop
as a little cowboy.
I'm gonna go from all natural to straight Western.
All natural, my ass, by the way.
But yeah, no, dude, it's great. Every Wednesday, I love I love when Wednesday comes around. Everybody knows it's hump day.
Hump day! Yes, it is Wednesday. Quickly becoming my favorite day of the week. Actually, it has been for a while now. I love doing this show, and it's always a lot of fun to kind of get the topics ready and to talk about video games. I love it. And also joining us back here, almost a regular now, Predator. How's it going, man?
What's going on, man? Almost a regular. I'm starting to like that. I look forward to Wednesdays and Fridays because I never know what goodies I'm going to get in my DM on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Getting an invite to the show. So happy to be here, man. Another time around. So let's go.
Exactly, man. We're gonna, you know what? I kind of want to jump right into Crackdown 3 stuff. It's obviously a big hot topic. Everybody was ready to like chase this game out. It's terrible. It's another bad game. Horrible. Microsoft sucks. You know, why do they keep doing this? And I was right there, man. Pitchfork ready. This game was getting bad review scores. You're like, how in the hell can this happen? Then you play it, and you're like, hey, man, this like the single player is a blast. I don't understand it. It doesn't. Here's the thing about the single player. Like, I know how people are like, hey, it's really repetitive and stuff like that, like every game in the world and the history of gaming. But it doesn't wear out its welcome, in my opinion, because it's not like the game is like 30 hours long, you know? Yeah. It's not like it's 50 hours of looking for backpacks. Am I right, Mooch?
Well, listen, I'm glad, listen. No, I'm glad you brought that up. That was where I was going to go with it. I didn't think I was going to like Spider-Man, and I've got 50, 60 hours into it. And here we are with Crackdown 3. Didn't think I'd like it, and I've got about 13 to 15 hours in it now, and I've got a lot more to play. You know, you say that, and it's interesting because, look, I stood corrected with the whole, like, Spider-Man thing. I had fun with the mechanics. I'm having a lot of fun with the mechanics as well in this game. I like the now I just earned the triple. I got level 5 on my agent power, so now I can do triple jump, double booster. Really, the world is your oyster at that point. I like collecting the orbs. I like finding the hidden orbs. I'm really liking the small challenges throughout the world. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe it's because of where I am right now. I work so much when I don't have a lot of time sometimes. People are like, you know, shout out to Pred, who's right here on the panel. He's like, well, come on, we'll just play a little bit of Anthem. And this weekend, I just didn't have time. But I did have time to pick up the controller, play 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, whenever I could, of Crackdown. And Crackdown kind of scratches that itch of that old school action game crap with a 2019 twist. Now, let's not get things all blown out of proportion, okay? I think everyone here on the chat will also agree with me. The multiplayer is a mess. I've said it since before it came out.
3 weeks
now. Listen, adding my friends, just because we can all talk about the mess together doesn't mean it's great. I think the multiplayer should not have been released, period. This game is a single-player game. It's always been a single-player game. Co-op, enjoy that through the single play, the campaign together.
Hell yeah, wish it was 4 though.
Right, 4 is even better.
Yes,
in this world, absolutely.
Yeah,
but realistically, should have got rid of the multiplayer.
I heard an explanation about why they didn't do 4, and it kind of makes sense after playing that game.
Scared.
It's just too many overpowered people in that small area. Like overall, like once you get powered up, you're flying pretty much.
Yes.
And you could just like when I'm pretty much at the end game there, right? Almost 5 on every category.
Yep. Me too.
And you just destroy, right? Get another person in there, you destroy even more. Imagine 4 of you in there. It'd almost be too much destruction going on, not enough people. I think that in the end, that's why they decided to go with 2
I
over
agree.
anything else, you know?
Yeah.
Understandable. I just wish, that's all.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You know, Salt, tell me if you agree with this. And I know Foxy won't agree with me, but I played a large portion of Halo 5 with 4 people. And I also, and even though that world was set up differently, there was plenty of action for 4 people, especially on Legendary, plenty of action. But I don't know. I got to be honest with you. 4 people have different ways of attacking a room. It's not like everybody's like, red team, go, red team, go. You know, it wasn't like it was a mission that we all planned out. It's kind of chaos. I like having it with one other person. If I had a vote, I would go 2 over 4, I think, even though that may not be popular.
Yeah, I'm more of on the 4. Whenever I could have 4, I like 4. But in this situation only, I think it works with 2. Because in Crackdown, I played with 2 people majority of my gameplay, which is amazing, by the way. If you guys haven't done co-op in Crackdown, do it. It's super fun. You know,
you know what's funny is I heard people compare it to Project, what the hell is that? Mayhem, what is that?
Agents of Mayhem.
Agents of Mayhem. Yeah. The thing is, Agents of Mayhem is single player only and no
my
co-op
God.
and no multiplayer. And that game kind of wears out as well.
And it got a 71.
Yeah, exactly. And it got a 71, right?
That's crazy though, because when me and my friends saw that game, we were like, "Oh, we wish we could play it together." So Crackdown's like perfect for that.
Exactly. So to me, it's so weird to see people go, "Oh, you know what? Crackdown 3 actually is fun," and sort of like it's so sad to see that like Terry Crews is the one that's taken the social media to sort of defend the game more than a lot of the Xbox people. You know, he's like, "We didn't make a game for for critics. We made games for fans and to have fun." And so, I mean, he's kind of taking the brunt of that because everybody's sort of making fun of him or whatever. And it's like the guy did a decent game. And then on the other side, you've got the same people like the PlayStation dudes that defended Knack and The Order are bashing this game, right? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it gets annoying how it goes back and forth. I get it because that's how console warring goes.
Did
but
you guys, Crap, did you download the content pack?
There's a content pack. I haven't had a chance to download it yet. I'm gonna download it after this.
Rubber duckies in a rocket launcher, man.
Exactly. Like they've got so many different things that they could do with that game. Not only that, it's already got more guns and variety than the previous Crackdown games. You level up fast. I like the Terry Crews simulator. Like Mooch, you were a big opponent of this game. It's a never was. And now you're like, hey, well, I mean, it's okay because you
listen, just because I like it doesn't mean it's not a never was.
Might
still.
be.
It might be. Yeah,
it's easy to say this game is not great. Like I get it, right?
It's not
great. It's not, but it's good. It's fun.
It's fun, and I think it came down to, I got to say this much, guys. It released at the right time, and even though there's a cluster F of games that are out right now. And I know Salt will get into it. And Metro's doing well as far as reviewers go. Metro's also an acquired taste. I think you even said it in your review, Salt, that it's still a niche title.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what I mean? So I gotta say, Crackdown being, let's break it down. It's fun-paced, action-packed type of game. It's like Sunset Overdrive, right? With orbs. And you've got that going for it. There's nothing else like it. You can play co-op. It's got a multiplayer, which I totally think is a bust. But they've got all these things going on. And realistically, Anthem doesn't come out for another week. This is a game that's only 15 hours long. People are going to beat it relatively quick.
Really.
Or less. Yeah, that's if you really want to expand it out. I mean, listen, there's a lot of different things. I think it's the perfect storm for this game. This game comes out a week later. Maybe it's a totally different situation. But realistically speaking, I think it was the perfect mix match of the few items I just said.
I said this in my review, which you can check out tomorrow. Shameless plug, but how often do you guys see entertainment options like movies, for example, that get critically acclaimed, i.e., The Last Jedi? Right, The Last Jedi by the critics was the best thing since sliced bread. It was the best movie since Empire Strikes Back. But then you look at the actual fan review scores, and they hated it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. When's been you saw a movie that sucked according to the critics, but you loved it. It's one of your favorites. I think at this point, there's so many times where I'm not agreeing with the mass majority that you kind of are expecting the opposite sometimes with some of these games. Oh, this is a bad review. Yeah. Hey, maybe this is good. Maybe I'll like it for myself, if that makes sense.
Well, you know, I think we've hit that wall now, Salt. I'm kind of glad you brought that up. I've been saying this for a long time, and I know before it just sounded like it's not a media bias thing at all. This has nothing to do with media bias. This is about public opinion. Okay. We're at a point right now where I don't think the gaming media, and I say that in air quotes, I don't think the gaming media is journalism anymore. I think if you guys that are in the chat or listening to the show, if you guys like IGN, Kotaku, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. I'm not here to tell you not to go there. You enjoy yourself. But realistically speaking, if you enjoy the content that Crap or Salt or Foxy or Xbot or Pred or myself put out, we are people that are just going out, buying the game, playing the game.
And there's a ton of other people too. I mean, too many to name, really. I'm
not. It's a zillion. I'm just like the people here. I'm just saying.
I would rather use anyone. I would rather go to any of the people in this panel.
That's my point. Is to go to a smaller YouTuber that you enjoy and love and cherish, because you know you've actually got something in common with that one person that you enjoy. That's up to you. I'm just saying at this point, I think we're going back to what Salt just said. Okay. Salt's in the movie critics reviews. Yes, The Last Jedi is a great example of that opposite polar reaction, where you had the reviewers were giving it A+, 90s, and you had user base at all-time lows. on Rotten Tomatoes, etc. Here, you're starting to find out the opposite. We're finally starting to see what we've been saying come to fruition. Now you're reading IGN's review, and instead of it before being a technical or review on story and review on this, now you can see that these guys are just like, it's trash. You know,
Yeah,
they
it's
don't,
opinion.
Now,
It's opinion based.
It's become opinion. It's no different than any YouTuber you like. And that's the point. And that's why I think YouTube and gaming personalities on YouTube are on the rise. And that's why I think you see IGN and all these other companies are on the decline. And that's why you even see some of the great talent at IGN leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. And they did.
Oh,
they left and they're doing well on their own. Alana being right. Well, Alana left. Greg Miller left. And whether you like Greg Miller or not, guy
Naomi
puts on a
Kyle
hell of a
left.
show.
Yep.
And it's like
Gonna get that from Boots.
it's like
I follow both those ladies after they left the shows.
Alana's fantastic. I think
Alana, she actually brought some class to Funhouse.
Not just that, but she does her job. When you want to talk about when she do, if you go ahead and critique her, she comes back with evidence. Actual journalism, right?
Yeah.
She's
Even if I don't agree with her, she makes her point of why she doesn't like that certain
and that's
thing.
all I respect that. Period. Done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So that's the thing. I think we've hit this wall, and Salt touched on it. I kind of wanted to dig a little further that I think now you don't have to hear it from anybody on this panel anymore. Now you're starting to see it with your own eyes. And I mean, I know you'll get into it, crap, but even the whole Jeff Gertzman thing in the Ibarra, like, you can't even, God forbid you say anything against the gaming media. They get angry. You know?
Yeah, because they think they're better. That's why.
Yeah, but they can make fun of all the YouTubers they want, though.
Yeah, like for the thing with that, right? Like it's like the critics are great at criticizing, but not being criticized themselves. You know what I mean?
Crap.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not going to call the dude's name out, but he called Xbox fan base tribalistic, and his opinion. He was basically pointing out that the Crackdown score was the correct score on IGN, and that all these Xbox people defending Crackdown are just tribalistic and blah blah blah. It's just ridiculous because basically what that comes down to is, we cannot like a product that you as quote unquote media or IGN likes. So we have to be sheep and follow exactly what you say, or we're tribalistic and we don't know shit.
Yeah, like I don't know who said that. Maybe you can like DM me who said it, because I don't really want to like.
Yeah,
so it's like
he looks like that guy. He looks like that guy who's got that dog who likes Scooby snacks. that guy.
Oh, okay, okay. So, I mean, look, it's not really surprising, but it's interesting that.
Sad. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, here's the thing where it comes to Xbox this generation, right? Everybody wants to go, and I know, Mooch, they hate it when we bring this up, that there's a favoritism. Call it favoritism, call it bias, whatever you want. It's clear that this type of stuff does not happen to Nintendo, and it doesn't happen to Sony. When have you ever seen media people, the reviewers, go back and forth with Sony or Nintendo over review scores, right? Like I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, let's use some evidence here. How about when Uncharted 4 came out and got an 8.8, and the Sony fans were livid at IGN? IGN retracted it and gave it a 9. Right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, what's that?
That's the second time they've done that.
That's the part I don't. That's the second time they've done it recently. Just recently again. My point being is that like they would never. When the minute the Xbox fan base says, "Hey, something about Crackdown," they get defensive and they actually call out and irritate the Twitter follower, etc. Right? But when it's the Sony fan base, they're like, "Oh, we didn't mean 8.8. Did somebody write 8.8? Who wrote 8.8?"
we better raise that. Hey, Y9 Power says PlayStation channels are all hate towards people and games. You guys really have a friendly atmosphere. Hey, we're friendly. Look, anybody that can read my Twitter today. I went back and forth mostly with Xbox dudes, right? Because we have a difference of opinion, but there's no hate there. It's just difference of opinions and different ideas on what's what. So that part to me is the difference. And if you guys are just joining us, please like, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. We're really happy that you're here spending your Wednesday with us. Jay Primo, he says he loves Xbox, nothing more. I feel you, dude. I love Xbox too. Far from perfect, though. I'm always quick to point that out, right? The reason why I will criticize Xbox a little bit as well is because they constantly, you need to kind of stay on them a little bit, in my opinion, because they're not perfect either. None of these companies are perfect. But I'm still interested in some more Crackdown 3 opinions. I liked it. Again, I definitely don't think it was a 6. you could get away with the 7 to in between 6.5 to 7.5. I think that's a safe zone in my opinion.
I think we said between 7 and 7.5 is safe.
Yeah. Go ahead, Xbot.
No, I was gonna say there's a YouTube channel called Funhouse, and I know Mooch doesn't like them so much. I think they're funny, right?
I never said that. I don't have a problem. I just myself personally, some of the humor,
their sense of humor gets a little kind of like over the top.
But I think they're fine as far as their journalism.
Well, dude, with their inside gaming, they said something that I think absolutely rings true when it comes to Crackdown 3. They said this is the most purest video game to come out in a long time in terms of just over the top fun. Going in with explosions, bright colors, great animation, stuff like that. They said that this is the purest video game. Just meant to have fun, not to be taken seriously. No like heavy narrative that's gonna bring you through this emotional roller coaster or anything. You just go in and play it and have fun, like we used to do on regular Nintendo with like Skate or Die or something like that. And with that, that's how I feel when I play this game. It's just nothing but a good time.
There's a song about that says something like that. It's from the 80s, I think, right?
Yeah, was it Poison?
It might be, man. It might be. Oh man.
Don't need nothing.
Exactly. See, I was left hanging there for a minute, but Foxy backed me up.
I know Mooch likes Poison.
I knew what you were talking about, but I certainly was not going to do an acapella.
I got this, fellas. The main thing I want to say about Crackdown, besides all the great things in the campaign that I'm enjoying, is just fucking awesome, and that's it. Leave it at that. I don't want to offend nobody by saying fun. Is the fact that I haven't touched the multiplayer. That's it.
Oh,
that's all I wanted to say.
I haven't touched it.
You guys
haven't played Crackdown at all?
I played maybe like 5 minutes of it, trying to play with the first night that came out with the Xbox and snaps, and realized I couldn't get in a party with them. So I was like,
Oh, you mean the multiplayer? But have you played any of the campaign?
No, I haven't played. I played the multiplayer for like I said, 5 minutes. I've not played the campaign whatsoever.
You're kind of like me. I played the multiplayer a little bit, but without being able to party up. It's a quick like.
Nah.
That's why I pretty much when I kind of did a review on it, I was like, you play it, you can destroy stuff, but you can't play with your friends. There's not really much else you can say about it right now. Like that's what the buildup was for. I think a lot of people were disappointed with the multiplayer. So to Mooch's credit, he did kind of call that out.
I can wait. If they in the future it gets better and they add shit to it and they fix stuff, then I'll try it then. But right now I'm fine with the way I'm playing the game.
You guys
had nothing
the
to do with
update,
me
right?
not wanting to play the game. I think I was in Cali at the time the game came out, and when I got back to Texas, I just started playing Anthem, and that was the end of it.
That was it. When it comes to Predator, you give him a game like Anthem, it's a done deal. That's what he's playing.
Yeah. You know what? What's funny is our boy Salty, you've been very vocal about Crackdown 3 as well. You kind of like you hate it, you love it, and then like so what is your thoughts on it? In case anybody has missed that, in terms of what you thought about the single player campaign now.
Yeah, so I'm not a Crackdown fan, or I wasn't. So I didn't play the first one. I played it minimally, and I didn't really get into it. And I didn't play the second one. So that you got to take it from that perspective. I didn't have a dog in the race per se.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I take it with a grain of salt.
There you go.
Yeah. So I didn't really have, like I said, a dog in the race. And I saw the thing that got me interested in this game was really the E3 trailer 2018, with Terry Crews and the updated graphics and animations and stuff like that. Because in reality, the 2017 gameplay looked like shit to me. When the celebrities were playing it, it didn't look vibrant for some reason. Yeah. And I wasn't excited to get into it at all. But they changed it. They went back, added some stuff in there, and it looked good. So I'm like, hey, it's in Game Pass. I'm going to try it. I played Metro first because I really wanted to get into that. I played it, and then boom, I hopped in, and it was just literally, I started playing with my friend Ashtray, and I looked like Kevin Hart next to The Rock, right? When I get in there, I'm not leveled up. He's like max level, so he looks like the Hulk, and I'm like this mini-me type character. And we play, and hours go by like minutes, right? And I'm late. It's up late. I should have went to bed hours ago. But I'm like, holy shit, this game is addictive. And that's how I knew that, man, this is for me for sure. And I just been playing through the game, and I beat it the other day, and I did that review. But so all these things that people are saying, I think it stems from the fact that there's 2 other games in the series. Me, for example, coming in fresh, I don't need to compare it to Crackdown 1 or Crackdown 2 because I didn't have those experiences. So if there's not really evolutions in the game too much, I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm not really caring about that. The boss fights are some of the best experiences I've had with boss fights because those are intense. The last boss fight is crazy. Like, this shit is crazy. The music's awesome. Like, the controls are fun. Like, it's everything you want in a video game. But the fact of the matter is there's a sheep mentality out there, especially in social media, in gaming in general. So people want photorealistic graphics. They want over-the-shoulder views. They want this and that. And if things go outside that box, they immediately get triggered, and they immediately want to trash everything. Yeah. And that's just the way it goes. And I think that this fell into that trap. Well, it's a Microsoft exclusive that got delayed, and then it doesn't look photorealistic, and it doesn't fit those box cookie cutter requirements, so we're gonna shit on it. That's what happened.
And Salt, I think you made some excellent points there. The only thing that I'll say that we used to talk about, give it a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think the same reason you keep hearing that one iteration of complaint is because this entire generation, except for possibly Quantum Break, and I guess that's a stretch for certain people, we haven't had a photorealism type of game on Xbox, from a first-party perspective. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's where you get some of that. But again, I gotta say, that's not the time to pull where's the photorealistic card out of your pocket and hold up that yellow card, because this game is not that type of game.
Yeah, it would be like going, we want Ratchet and Clank to be photorealistic.
Right.
That doesn't really make sense. It's Crackdown. It has a history. And by the way, if Crackdown 3 is your first Crackdown and you play that and you love it, and you go back and play Crackdown 1, you're not going to have a good time. I'm sorry. Like the game Crackdown 3 is much more advanced than Crackdown 1.
It's the best version out of all the Crackdowns.
Yes. So despite the people and the reviewers wrongly stating that this game is stuck in 2007, this game is far beyond that. Way more inventive, way more fun, adds way more to the narrative and to all that kind of stuff. So you will be disappointed if Crackdown 3 is the first one you've really, and I know for a fact it is Mooch, because he's put 10 minutes in Crackdown 1 and was like, it sucks.
Yeah, the first one, the jumping mechanics are clunky, awful. Mm-hmm. Listen, the graphics on it, to be honest with you go back and play Crackdown, and I'm not talking about the 4K enhanced one, but if you just played it the first time, like I played Crackdown 1 for the first time, it looked like an OG Xbox game. It just looked, you know what I mean? It just got, the story gets worse. But if you guys really want a comical piece after the show, do go watch the developer notes, and it's great that they're being so transparent. But if you do watch it, and somebody called it out on Twitter today, I can't remember who did it, but I was thinking it because I watched it the minute it came out. There's a guy on the left wearing a blue jacket. I think he's the executive producer. And then the guy on the right's the lead engineer. If you look at the guy in the blue, watch the first video, not the second one, because the second one now they're a little bit more excited because there's been some positive fan feedback. But he's like, if you watch the first one, that little guy in the blue, he is pissed at that engineer. The whole time he's like, and we don't have any private chat. Tell them why, Dan. And he's like, we left that part out. So sorry about that. We'll get another update out to you guys on Tuesday. So, I mean, it was just like, it was a very awkward, it was like a who's on first kind of episode. So if you guys want to check that out.
Who? Hey, Eternal Shadda says, please explain this. Borderlands, 84 out of 100. The Walking Dead, 92 out of 100. Crackdown 3, 60 out of 100 from Metacritic. They have the same art style and gameplay. I would actually say Crackdown 3 has way more gameplay than Walking Dead. Walking Dead is just like kind of a point-and-click type simulator. Hey, as we approach 500 watching, please hit that like button, share it out, all that kind of good stuff. Really do appreciate it. I think Crackdown 3 was a product of collusion. There, I said it. Put my tinfoil hat on. Behind the scenes, they're going, hey, look at social media. There, you could just look at the trends. Everybody was preparing for this to be a debacle. It ended up not being so bad. I would have loved a refreshing review, and if there is one, let me find it, link it to me, that says, I was expecting the worst, and it's actually not half bad. That should be the motto for Microsoft's exclusives the past year and a half, right? You expect the worst, but they ain't so bad, eh? You know what I mean? Like, I can just see something like that being a thing, and I'm the only one laughing because I think that's hilarious. But I'm sorry. Like, for me, I thought, hey, the game scored piss poor. I expected it to score kind of bad, but I didn't expect it to score that bad. So when I'm having fun with the game and I'm like, hey, this is, and people are watching me play it and they're like, hey, that looks fun. I think that's really says enough. And hopefully because I've heard it's done really well. It's like in the top paid games or whatever. That means probably people on Game Pass playing it like XBot.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
but yeah, exactly. But that's what Microsoft wants at the end of the day anyway, right? So
and dude, with Game Pass, this game, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay in Game Pass. In about 2 weeks or so, we're going to have our parties going into Wrecking Zone. Now, normally, if it was just a $60 title, I'd be like, oh my goodness, get the tombstone ready when it comes to the multiplayer. But people are going to go, they're going to jump back into Wrecking Zone as well when you can bring a
I'll hop back in it, man. When me and MOH can play with a couple other people and team up and stream it,
I disagree.
I'll be more than I'll happy to jump back in. I don't know how for everybody else how that'll be, but I'll definitely jump in.
I think that by the time they get that out, which is like 3 weeks, people won't give two shits. I think for the most part, the hardcore maybe will jump back in, but for the most part, these people that were interested, it's kind of first impressions or everything. And they're like, oh, I can't team up with my friends. Uninstall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Move on.
The other thing too is the fact that it's a separate download. I know that may not seem like a big deal to a lot of you guys, but that's something that's also a deterrent, right? Like think about it this way.
That's freaking weird.
You can even see with like what they're giving away in Crackdown, and Apex is doing it to a certain extent. You have to go in on some of these things and actually do a download. They do that because they realize a lot of people won't take the extra effort to do that. Like in the fact of giving things away, it's a deterrent. To say that you want somebody to play your multiplayer and then you have it as a separate download. Some people it's a space issue on their hard drive. Some people it's a this or that. And then like Salty said, you've already got bad press out on it already. Are people going to want to jump down? Listen, just because they're addressing the talking with friends. Crap. And if, like you said, I would jump in to try it. But I'll be honest with you, we would probably put as much time into Wrecking Zone as we put it into Drawn to Death. Okay.
You know who's real good at the Wrecking Zone stuff is Gadang, the producer of MNC Mornings. He's in the chat right now. He plays that.
I thought you were gonna say XBot.
XBot. You give us your opinion too, because you probably played it a lot too, and you're on the show right now. But I know for a fact Gadang played it a lot. XBot, what is your thoughts on that after playing so much?
Well, first off, the multiplayer I really get into. I can't wait until I can actually bring friends, because I got put on some bad teams where I was the only one actually collecting badges, and it really it really pisses you off when stuff like that happens. But the game all around, it's a fun game. It is something that I can't see why it was rated so low. This is one of the reasons why I just don't deal with review scores in general. If I like a game, I do the research on the game. If it looks good to me, I pick it up. But dude, it's like it has the heart of the first Crackdown. All right. A lot of people who got into the first Crackdown, but then the second one let them down. I have a feeling if they pick up the controller and play the third one, they'll just get rejuvenated with that whole Crackdown thing. And for the people out there that said it's the same thing as Crackdown 1, Crackdown 1 did not have jetpacks. If you look at the weapons that you can get in Crackdown 3, a huge variety of weapons in comparison to the original Crackdown. With the triple jump, the triple jump, and the double dash.
Whoa, you have something I don't have.
Go to Taco Bell. Go to Taco Bell.
It's a very special move that you can't do all the time. But no, and the double dash. Those are two things there that make the movement when you are like the super agent. You have kind of like level 5 agility and stuff. Makes it even that much more fun. That much more smooth. It is a fun game.
I was reading something and I heard Xbox say triple jump and double dash. I thought he was talking about a new Mark Summers Nickelodeon show.
Dude,
go ahead, my fault.
That's a mouthful. Yeah,
it
really
is, dude.
Are we talking about the multiplayer or the single player?
I went
multiplayer.
All
right, so
and then single player, but
the multiplayer is trash. Let's just get that out there, because I played it.
Salty, I disagree.
No. Let's talk about why it's trash.
Here we go.
It was built on a foundation that is flawed as fuck. Let's talk about it. Even if you guys want to say, oh, it was a tech test and all this other shit, just go back and watch. And I know you guys don't like Red Dragon. I don't either. But he did a video comparing the video, and the video is just night and day. Like, the destruction is so dumbed down, it's not even worth having it in there, man. The geometry when you shoot it out, it looks so bad. There's no textures on the building, which isn't a big thing. When they get destroyed, the building particles, they disappear within seconds. The gunplay sucks. The line of sight all of that, everything about this multiplayer is not good.
Now the interesting thing is that the particles were supposed to stay there,
right?
So.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to say everything that Salt just said, it's true. And not only that, it's like you'd have to tell me, don't tell me anything about the physics or anything like that. Someone who likes the multiplayer in that game, you got to tell me how the hell you're entertained. Like after what Salt just said,
not entertained?
The answer is no.
Thing, man.
It's
the
called
whole line of sight thing. I love that aspect of the multiplayer.
It's called Wrecking Zone, and the destruction sucks. So I mean, at that point, you got to question yourself: why am I playing this? And like the destruction in that game mode is just almost not required. Like people shoot at walls, they're like, "Oh my god, I want to see this destruction." Then they get disappointed and they move on, right? I mean, you can shoot your rocket and there's some kind of destruction there, but honestly, there's better destruction in Fortnite. There's better destruction in Battlefield. Like it's more impressive in games that don't have cloud tech.
Here's the problem: like when they hold on, Xbox.
All right, go ahead, man.
When they showed this destruction, it got everybody's hopes up, and they showed it too soon before they had a chance to actually tweak it and tailor it for the consoles. And I think everyone's expectations of what they're going to do with this cloud-based destruction was so high that when the final output came out, it wasn't what we asked for, or what not even we asked for. What they showed.
Whose fault is that, though?
That's Microsoft's fault because they show shit too fucking early. And they've been doing that for years. And they finally, like last year, I think, kind of tailored back on that. But they were showing, tech demos and plans for things that they weren't sure they're going to actually be able to do. And they've been doing that for until, like I said, up until last year or two. They were doing that pretty much like Sony does. Just showing us what we want to see, something that looks good on paper. A tech demo, and then when the final product comes out, it's not what we expected. So that's on Microsoft. Like, stop showing us shit you can't do.
Yeah, and they went to that whole strategy of, hey, let's not show shit within a certain amount of time. I mean, if I was them and this shit happened, I wouldn't show shit early too, because like honestly, it is so downgraded. It is ridiculous. When I play this and I shoot the geometry out, it looks ridiculous. Like that's not real life to me. If I shoot a wall and it cuts out like a diamond, it doesn't make sense to me. The way it looks, the way it plays, and the fact of the matter is if this was any other game, the multiplayer would have been canned a long time ago. Those resources would have been saved. But this was a testing ground for Microsoft, and they are all about this cloud, obviously with xCloud and everything else. So they're just like, hey, this is a testing ground. We got to get this shit out because it's got to work. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, it is what it is. It's just,
but someone's got to be the first one to do
let
this,
me,
right?
Let me put a different twist on this, because what you guys are saying is correct. But Real Black Media Studio says, Salt and Mooch, you are literally proving you don't understand the game. Let me just say where I think Microsoft did something wrong, and it wasn't what is the obvious. When we watched what the tech demo was supposed to be, forget the actual physics again, forget the technology. When I saw the fact that you could make towers crumble, buildings collapse, okay, walls fall on people, I was thinking different strategy in a multiplayer game. So now if it's me, let's say it's 3v3, and I have me, Pred, and Salt, okay? And I see that you've got Crap, Foxy, and Xbot, and they're in a tower. And I go, listen, guys, I just saw them run up to that tower. What do we start to do? We attack the base and try to drop the tower and kill them. That was a different approach to gaming that we hadn't seen when you go back to 2015. Or if it was out there, it was scarce. My point being is not only was the technology, okay, misled, but the skill and the type of game that they promised when showing that tech demo was also not what we got. Now you hear Xbot, who likes the multiplayer, tell you nothing about strategy and trying to make a tower go down and kill team A or B in that other tower. No, he's telling you, I just try to break the line of sight. That's not what they were promising. Well, not just that, but when you break the actual buildings, it looks like you're playing Star Fox, okay? It doesn't look anything like, it doesn't look like we're playing a game in 2019. It's just a very cookie cutter break of the building. It falls down. And when it falls down, it really doesn't do anything to ruin another gamer's chance at advancing in the game. It's just an aesthetic.
Well, Mooch, and guys, I'm not trying to tell you guys that you should like the multiplayer. I'm just
I get it, Xbox.
I'm giving you the reasons why I like it. There's instances in this multiplayer, like when I'm on the top of a tower and somebody's right below me, I jump up, aim down with my shotgun, and I literally blast a hole through every floor. and land down on top of them. Something I haven't done in another video game. If somebody goes around a wall to break a line of sight, I shoulder charge right through that, and I'm still with him, and they can't shake me. Stuff like that, I really like. I like that concept.
Well, then I think the concept. I think you did a great job of selling it right there, Xbox. But now what happens is you've got some of the fundamentals in there, but the fundamentals are there, but the gameplay and the mechanics are just they're a mess. So realistically speaking, I like what you're saying, and they brought something new to the table. But I don't know if that's. I don't think you're going to sell people because you know as well as I know when you played that, and yes, you did do that. It was still wonky at best.
Well, I was wonky. Like I was new. I was new to it. Like, and
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying. I think gamers in general. I've watched a lot of gameplay on that, from whether it be review or pieces or YouTubers, and it's just it looks like a chaotic mess.
Wait until I get my squad together in a couple weeks, and we can go in as a team. I will stream it out. Definitely check it out.
Oh, you know I'll be watching, buddy.
You'll see some amazing gameplay, man. I guarantee it. Yeah.
You'll be playing Anthem in a couple of weeks.
That too.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. What I point out, like everybody's entitled to their opinion on it, right? Like if Xbox liking it, who am I to say he's not? I do think that it's a far cry from what was originally promised to us. Like that's pretty obvious. Like that's evident. I still do think it was kind of proof of concept, but Salty brings up a good point. If there's other games that are doing more destruction without the power of the cloud, is the power of the cloud even a thing? Are we being oversold on other things like xCloud and all this other stuff too, right? Yeah. Like, are they announcing this stuff too early? It leads to a lot of questioning because, to be honest with you, so far, the only kind of cloud-based gaming or stuff like this that we've actually seen has been basically Sony stuff that's actually released, and it works like shit. You know, it's not great. It's terrible. 720p, 30 frames per second. Super laggy.
What about Google?
I was saying Google with
Assassin's Creed. They did, but it's like it's like a single player game, and like you have to have 25 down or whatever.
Well, so 25 downs for optimal. That's for optimal. So that's like
and I get it, man. Hell, I can't even get 25 down right now. I don't know what's up with my internet. It's bad though. It's taken me. It's gone back to like 2 years ago where it took me an hour to upload a 3.5 minute video.
I go, crap, how's Metro? He's like, I'm still downloading it. I'm like,
downloading it
from Saturday.
Yeah, it's for some reason. I don't know what the hell the deal is with my internet right now. It's bad. Maybe it's because of the rain or something. I'm not really sure, but it's you know how it is.
Crap, Metro is a masterpiece, by the way.
Hey, shout out to my boy Sleepy Goblin, man. I mooshed a copy. He hooked me up, man, and look, I have completely learned from Mooch how to do this, right? Like, and it's actually just because there's great fans all around. But dude, like I was explaining, man, I'm saving up for a wedding. It's expensive, and I like games that I can afford to get now. Like, I might have to start doing the Xbox route. Get me some Game Pass, right?
There you go, brother.
I might have to Game Pass it up because, stuff's expensive. It's 2019 and I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, that's expensive stuff. So, yeah.
Crap, with your wedding, do you need an extra usher? That's all I want to know.
Do I need, you know what? I have a lot of people asking me that, man. So far, maybe. Oh, dude, can we dress you up in the cowboy outfit? That's what I really want to know.
I'm done. Where's Fox, help me. Nope, nothing.
I don't know anybody here.
Nothing.
But yeah, I appreciate it. It's all good stuff. And I guess I actually wanted to talk about this because I saw a lot of people talking about it, which is this whole Scalebound rumor, right? Like this ridiculous rumor. Now here's the thing, right? I know. Listen, I'm with you guys, right? Because you look and it says clearly that Scalebound, the actual intellectual property owned by Microsoft, although they abandoned the trademark. I tried explaining to people what this means is somebody could come out with a game called Scalebound if they wanted to, but it wouldn't be this, right? It wouldn't be what we saw. It wouldn't be that Scalebound. It's like if all of a sudden Microsoft let go of the Halo trademark and I came out with the Halo game, it couldn't be Master Chief and that. It would have to be something totally different.
Right.
Because they still own that intellectual property. So with that being said, it was very interesting because Mooch, your girl Alana said that she heard last summer that Scalebound was going to come back, but it wasn't going to be an Xbox exclusive. So apparently it was reported, and I'll read this out in case you guys are new to this, that it was going to be a Switch exclusive. It was going to be resurrected. And what was interesting about this was a Game Informer person, in fact, the editor-in-chief there said that he was going to run an article saying not that game in particular, but said that there was a dead and buried canceled game, surprising game that Nintendo was bringing back. And so you put 2 and 2 together. Those were unrelated, by the way. They came out on different days, those stories. And I think that's probably where this came from, is somebody was maybe reading a little bit more into it than what it really was. So it's a rumor. But what's funny is that one of the people that worked on Scalebound said that no, he doesn't really see that as being something there. Now, your boy Kotaku's Josen Schreier, for as much as I don't really like that guy, he's heard rumors about the game coming to Switch as well. He says, I'll add to this, Scalebound is coming to Switch rumor. It was absolutely a rumor floating around last summer. When he doesn't rule out the possibility of the game coming to Nintendo's latest platform, he also expressed his doubts about Scalebound developer Platinum Games developing another Switch exclusive. He says, anyway, didn't Platinum literally just announce an action game with co-op multiplayer as a Switch exclusive? I guess it's possible that Nintendo is also paying for Scalebound, but why would they bother? My guess, and please to be clear that this is a guess, I am not confirming or denying anything, is that Platinum reused a lot of Scalebound's design and tech for Astral Chain, and people are just getting their wires crossed. So, just very interesting stuff all around, that maybe the assets are being used and things like that, and it's not actually Scalebound, but they're going to use some of that because, again, Microsoft, I don't understand what Microsoft would have to gain out of this, or why Nintendo would even want this game, since it's not a beloved franchise, which is even what the old producer said. He's like, it's not a beloved franchise. It's something we never even got off the ground. So like Mooch, I remember when I was talking to you about this, you were talking about it. What do you think, man?
I mean, I'll be honest. I think you kind of nailed it in your hypothesis there, Crab. I mean, I don't see, maybe something called Scalebound will come out on the Switch. That I'm not going to say will or will not. But if it's not the dragons and it's not that particular hero that Platinum Games originally worked with Microsoft on, and it's not this and it's not that, well, it's the same thing like they say. If you smell smoke and you see smoke, it must be smoke, right? But if it's not the dragons and it's not the hero and it's not the situation, then it's not that game. It's just called that word or that name or that title can be reused. The other thing I get out of this, and I'll give credit to Jason Schreier on it, is he's the one that just said it right there, that some of the assets, and if it wasn't him, then pardon me, you said a few different articles all meshed into one. Yeah. But a lot of the different parts and some of the research and development that went into Scalebound, Platinum Games is reused in other titles. I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. Platinum Games is just a company I don't care for. I just don't care for. They seem very shady. The stuff that they did with Microsoft and accepting the money and then not putting the game out seems to be their only time they've ever done that is with Microsoft. Then they take the assets and they use some of the stuff they've developed with that money on other games, right? And then they make exclusive deals like Bayonetta 3 with Nintendo, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to deliver to Nintendo, right? I mean, they are not going to.
They've delivered multiple already to Nintendo, so.
So I mean, that's my whole thing. I just think it's I'm just not a big Platinum Games fan. I don't like the way that they do business, but that's a me problem. But I mean, other than that, I think sure. If Nintendo's got a Scalebound that comes out and it's this amazing game, who cares if they're using the name? But I don't think it's the same game that we all think it is.
I
Crap. I gotta say, when it comes to this, like I heard you came out live and tried to let people know exactly what the what was going on, what Microsoft actually owned, and how the
because what's funny was people were like, I wasn't going to be in for the Xbox version, but I totally get it on Switch, and it makes you want to punch yourself in the face because it's like no other console has to put up with this shit. No other console has to deal with fanboys to this level. You've got the PC dudes saying this shit. You've got the PlayStation dudes. You've got the Nintendo. You got the media. Right?
How much of a stain would it be on Microsoft's face if they?
Dude, Phil Spencer would have a big old poo stain there, man. That's all that would be, man.
This would fucking suck for the community overall. Like this happened, just to be honest.
Dude, I just look at Pred. I just look at it as like you saw what just happened with Crackdown, right? So people saw what, these other couple articles and everything, and then they made a big deal out of this because of, hey, let's just ride this train right now.
Yeah, because it's so
going.
Because it's so easy to shit on Microsoft. That's why.
Yeah. And the fucked up part is I literally tweeted that same fucking day. All these games that have been in pending status, Ashen, Below, Crackdown, have all been released. All these games that like have been sitting there in the fucking woodworks for years have been released this generation. Now what? And then the fucking Scalebound news resurfaces. Next thing you know, we need Fable information coming out again.
Oh shit!
Well, if it, Sony, by the way,
I hope it's positive shit, not negative.
But here's the deal, guys. Even if it was the Scalebound game and stuff like that, to me, to be frank, I don't give a shit. Like when you see what Microsoft and Xbox are doing, you see like the studios that they acquired. You see this initiative like turning out to be an incredibly talented studio. I want to see like what if they're like, all right, well, we're out with the old, so we don't really give a shit about that, and we got all this new stuff coming that we're really gonna put that into motion, put that forward, and get that stuff out there. Like I don't want the old has-beens and have them coming back up to bite people in the ass and stuff like that. I want to see what's going on with the new stuff that's coming down the road. That's just me personally.
Well, if you're going to do something with Scalebound or Fable, or not do something with Scalebound or Fable, I think they need to kind of say that at this point. Like, we're not working on Fable, we're not working on Scalebound, or we're working on like E3 this year. If they're going to do something with one of those two franchises, kill the fucking elephant in the room and announce what they are or not.
They love that elephant though, bro.
So we can move on from it. Like, because we've been holding on to fucking Scalebound and Fable since 2013.
Yeah, and you know what? I brought up this good point. And I don't bring up good points often because I'm Crapgamer. And Algorithm, I did see your thing. He says set up channel membership. She'll definitely have a supporter here. Hey, I'll have to do that, man. Those are new, and I'm gonna have to fiddle around a bit. I'm not that good of a fiddler, but yeah, man, I've had a few people ask me to do that, so I will. But I don't make good points often, and this was a point that I thought was really good. Xbox fans, a lot of them, not all of them, have like ADD a little bit, right? And I mean that in the best possible way. No knock on anybody that legitimately has that. I'm just saying, like we're that meme where you're looking back at the girl when you have a girl, right? Like. All these new studios are creating all this new content, right? And we should be focused on that. All the great stuff, the initiative, they're doing all these hirings. Ninja Theory, we're going to get something from them announced this year. 343 is working on some amazing stuff for Halo. We got Gears. Literally, Phil was checking out Gears today. We're getting Gears news. Like, there's all this great stuff coming out, and everybody's obsessed with this game that was canceled that never looked like it was running good. It was clunky as hell. Obviously, if it was canceled, it was never up to par. So everybody's so obsessed with this one game. Like, what is it about this game that has people so like flipped out to totally just ignore everything else and be obsessed with this damn game again?
Yeah, the only thing I can answer your question is I think it's something that was never in Xbox's portfolio before. Crap. It's that it's definitely got a Japanese developer feel to it. Right, of course, Platinum Games. I mean, it had that feel to it. There's not much that's been an Xbox exclusive that's had that feel to it. Right, everything we've always been through the 360 era, going into this one, and you even have Foxy who's saying, her favorite game is Gears. Like it's the dude, bro. Like they didn't. This is the first time when Microsoft came out and showed this. People were like, "Wow."
Yeah, dedicated.
Yeah, who's this Xbox? What's this company? I didn't know they were going to do this. And so even with Phil going out and grabbing all these different studios. Let's be honest, they still all fall into that Western RPG or first-person or third-person shooter we've grown used to out of Xbox. So even with their new acquisitions, I don't see anything coming out that's like Scalebound. I think that's your answer, Crap. Now, whether that's the answer people want to hear or not, that I can't help you with. But
at least that's acceptable. But it's like this game, when it was getting shown, even Xbox fans were like, it looks like it's running like crap. You know what I mean? It doesn't look that good.
The decision to cancel it shouldn't be on the table. That I have to leave up to Phil and his discretion. But I'm saying to you, that's why you hear so many people in the industry and fans crying out that was the game we were looking forward to.
Here's the deal. Coming from a fan that likes Platinum games and the games that they did, because I played Nier, I love that game. Bayonetta's awesome. It seems like Platinum was putting out bangers, except for when they try to work for Microsoft and they started funneling funds out.
Right.
And
Allegedly.
allegedly, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So I'm salty. Surprise, surprise, right? Because I saw that, and unlike a lot of other people, I was excited for it because I like dragons. I think that's a seller for this game because dragons have a big following for whatever reason, because dragons kind of span the whole world, right? Europe, Asia, this lore of dragons, you know, they don't really exist, but everybody seems to talk about them or has history with them. So you look at Game of Thrones, has dragons in it, extremely popular. So
dragons are real.
And so they attach themselves with the dragons, and then they have this hack and slash combat. It looks.
I like the 4-player co-op aspect, right? Yeah.
So
yeah, that was cool.
I think that people are just really disappointed that this could have potentially been something unique,
right,
in the portfolio. Like Mooch was saying, I myself would have played it and loved it. But when it comes to the Switch rumors, for one, I know exactly where this shit started, okay? Because these rumors were coming up, and I forgot who it's Nintendo Central or something. I watched the video that night before, and they said they were speculating on this rumor about a dead game getting revived, and they literally pulled the Scalebound shit out of their ass and talked about it and said, hey, you know, I know it's unlikely, blah, 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 let's talk about it. And it just was so far-fetched, and they said it, and then all these people on the social media were like, oh, shit. And then one person says it and then doesn't quote where they got their source, and it spreads like herpes all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It's just like, think about it from just
or M&C Mornings. It spreads like that too. So
just think about how it doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense. Like, it couldn't run on the base Xbox. So why the hell would they put it on the Switch? It gets made fun of for doing 480p and 720p, and you know what I'm saying? Like, God, I don't know.
It wouldn't be the same game, even if it wouldn't be. It can't even run that. It had a big world. It had a lot of stuff going on, and even that was chugging. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with this. I mean, to be honest, I actually don't care. Like, as soon as I saw people talking about it on Twitter, I was like, oh shit, well, I'm getting off Twitter for an hour or so. I'm out.
Well, the thing is, it's like just the way this stuff goes, right? And just as a YouTuber, it's like you want to talk about this stuff because it just sounded so asinine, right? Yeah. But you see people talk about it, and it's like, like this is exactly what happens. You know, you get crossed wires, or you read, somebody looks over somebody's shoulder and reads something and gets the wrong thing from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The bad thing is that people say it as factual.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the bit of the unfortunate part. We have crossed over 500 watchers, so please hit that like button. Yeah, share it out. Man, we got an unusually high number of dislikes. I don't understand that. But yeah, you know, I mean, for me personally, it doesn't make sense. What a stain that would be on Microsoft, like you guys were saying, man. Like, oh, we couldn't get this game out, but we gave it to Nintendo. You know, and they're going to put it out. So
that game was a crutch to Sony fanboys, Sony extremists out there, even before that article came out. Like, we would be talking about good news and stuff like that when it came to Xbox, and you would see people in the chat, up until, I mean, last week or whatnot, and be like, yeah, well, what about Scalebound, huh? Well, what about Scalebound? And
would have bought an Xbox if it wasn't for Scalebound getting canceled.
Shit, man, let's be real. On that whole thing, they would never have bought the system for that one game. All right, and
well, there's no reason to buy it now anyway, right?
Exactly.
You can just play all these games on. They're just playing them on their $20,000 PC, so they're good. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically how it goes. You know what I mean? Or they'll just wait and play it on with xCloud on that $59 console or whatever it is. So yeah, you know, it's unfortunately, we keep seeing this kind of thing happen. I think that it's kind of ridiculous, but it is kind of funny just to see how like these little rumors get started into these big ass things, and then all the sites run with it. And you know, I just found that to be incredibly funny. Mooch, you got anything else to close with on this topic?
No, man, I think you guys all covered it. I think everybody made valid points. I think, you know, Salt hit it home with the Dragons. I think that's one of the main reasons you have Game of Thrones. It's a success, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Look at when the IP comes out, if Microsoft wants to bring it back from the dead, they will. And they've got plenty of studios now that can, you know, kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say that they can recreate what Platinum did. Platinum has their own kind of twist on games, but at the same time, I'm excited to see if a new company can take that IP and the ideas that they had for it and run with it. Other than that, I'll be honest with you, much like a lot of the other panel members said, I was maybe in the minority. I was, when I saw all the games that were coming, and, you know, Xbox promised way in advance, this and that, like Scalebound for me was, all right, see what you got. Yeah. I didn't really care that much as and I think a lot of people are doing what Foxy said. They're kind of making it up as they go. You know, like I would have bought 8 Xbox Ones if only that game came out. I was going to give one to everyone in my family ever that I don't even cousins I haven't met. And it's like,
can I make one more point on this?
Yes, go ahead.
This is this journalism at its weakest, right? Like when that story came out, like you think of like if this was like fucking Antonio Brown, right? Sports, sorry there. But like
he's Mr. Big Chest now. He's not Antonio Brown. So
but like when that news came out about him like leaving or whatever, Pittsburgh, reporters went out and they wanted to get the story, right? When this news came out about this game possibly going to Switch or whatever, no reporters went out to try to get the real information. You know what I'm saying? Like they just reported what was reported already from some loose leaf cannon and just posted it on their fucking channel and websites. They didn't go out and say, we reached out to Microsoft. We reached out to Platinum Games to get information on this. This is what was said. Like, do reporting. They didn't do
actual
that.
Journalism.
No, there was no journalism done whatsoever. They just took what was written and they posted it on their websites. And maybe if they did reach out to Microsoft doesn't comment on this stuff. They know that. Microsoft doesn't comment on rumors. That's what the typical, we reach out to Microsoft, no. But, like, do your job as a journalist. Dig. Find information like we do. Is like I do. Like I look for information for shit like this all the fucking time. Like dig. That's what
true, man. He'll send me stuff. He'll be like, "Hey, check this out. You got to translate it, but it's interesting."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotta love the translation articles, man.
Like, but they don't do that, and they just let that story ride. And I posted. I said, "Why don't we sit back and see what the journalists are going to do with this instead of us sitting here retweeting this every 15 seconds?" Let's see what these bigger ass fucking studios do, like IGN and these big Game Informers and stuff like that. Let's see if they actually do their job.
No.
Dig for information and come out with the real story behind
now.
They don't.
No, they don't, and they don't. And that's what I'm pissed off about. Like
now what it's about is you're sitting somewhere in IGN Studios or wherever they are.
They want to be the first ones to put it on their page.
Yep, let's get that out. Let's get that out really quick. What are you doing right now? Nothing. What are you doing right now? Nothing. All right, let's get the Johnny, get the camera. We're gonna go ahead and do a live, opinions piece on what we think about this. We got to be the first one out there, and that's what it is. They don't dig. They don't do this. They're like, and it says rumor. And then rumor, you know what I mean? Colon, this is what it is. And it's like,
but it's rumor from, I can literally right now, I can go out and tweet something right now. And I swear to God, it will spread like wildfire. Crap can do it. You can do it. And they will take it and run with it.
That's what media is doing across the board right now.
Yeah. Hey,
they're not doing their job.
Yeah, they're not, and it is a little bit ridiculous and kind of counterproductive to what things used to be in the past, and it's frustrating as a fan sometimes to sort of see this happen, but at the same time I do think that it really just comes down to irresponsibility, to be honest with you, and the bigger sites that I've seen run with this too, it's from like Bob's blog or something like that, so it is weird. It is weird to see that, you know what I mean? It is just like, oh, we got this hot news going on right now. This is going on. So here is another thing that's going on with that Nintendo stuff. So this was something that from this Nintendo site that rumors that Microsoft and Nintendo are working on something big together. But this denies the Platinum Games situation. But it does say that he has heard Nintendo and Microsoft are working on big things together, which, when you think about it, like, well, we're not the only ones. Like Rand has mentioned it. Well, I've heard it from other people as well, that some of these smaller games, the Cupheads and the Oris and Ori 2s, could possibly go to Switch. Nothing like Halo or Gears or anything like that. But like, Mooch, what do you think about that? Like them working with Nintendo putting stuff on there. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I like that laugh.
I think,
but, yeah.
You want to know what I think, really?
Yeah,
I think this is going to be another 70-30 split where Xbox gets screwed. So what'll end up happening is Xbox Live, Ori and the Blind Forest 2, Lucky Tales, everything in the world that's even, AA or whatever will go over to the Switch. And you know what Xbox will get? They'll get Luigi in the next Killer Instinct. Right? Thanks for cutting the deals there, Phil. I don't know. I think right, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I saw a photo of
miss
Phil
Phil
there today
Spencer on
down
the
there
last-
at the Coalition.
Yeah,
he's down there taking pictures. Like, hey, look at me. I'm Phil Spencer. I'm taking pictures. I'm cool. I'm hip. It's me. I'm at the Gears place.
I like Rod Ferguson's tweet out. He's like, it's nothing like it when your boss brings lattes and cookies over to hang out with you. At
lattes and cookies.
Yeah,
Are you? Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. But no, my point being is, realistically, when I hear Nintendo and Xbox doing some sort of a merger, usually when you see merger, you think of a 50-50. Not to bring up, as we just said a second ago, but sports. But the point of the matter is, I'm a Mets fan, okay? We don't usually get good news. So whenever I see like Mets, right? Whenever I see like Mets trade, it's like, this isn't good. And it's like Mets give up whole team for a guy who can't bat. I'm like, what? What happened? I feel like Xbox has picked up all the old Mets GMs. Yeah. For some reason, when I see Nintendo and Xbox doing a deal, I get real scared. Yeah. I see a lot of Xbox IPs going over to the Switch. All right. And I see like Wario's World 18 coming over to Xbox platform where nobody gives a shit. So it's almost like Reggie sitting there like, oh, we got these bastards in our pocket too. Yeah. I don't know. That's my whole take on it. Who knows what that merger is really going to be or what that deal will be, if anything. We know Xbox Live is going over to the Switch. I think that's fine. Do I think that Ori and the what is it there, the Will-O-the-Wisp, should that go over there day and date on the Switch? I don't think so. I hope it doesn't for Microsoft's sake. But who knows? Right now they're doing day and date with everything, right? So why not?
I bring that up, and then people like that was one of the things I brought up today on Twitter. Right? Is like this is the console generation that Xbox forgot, in my opinion. Right? We started off real promising. Yeah, we had underpowered software, hardware, but we had decent to good software to start the generation with. Right? And they had some decent ideas. And as the generation went on, the games lacked and weren't as up to or weren't as polished or as looked at as good. I'm not saying they weren't good fun games or whatever, but obviously the quality disparity between some of these titles on PlayStation and Nintendo platforms versus those on Xbox are you can see them, they slap you right in the face. So it's almost to the point where it's like a lot of us have suffered, and people might hate that I say it that way, but a lot of us have suffered with subpar first party output where we have the best third party stuff now finally.
Well, see, I don't agree with you on that crap. Like,
okay,
the whole thing is like with the games that did come out, the new IPs that came out on Xbox, they were just completely bashed from the beginning. There is nothing wrong with Sunset Overdrive.
2014 again. The first few years were great.
Yeah. Well, you said and what do you mean? Like lately, like Sea of Thieves and
well, I mean, I like Sea of Thieves and I think it's a really good multiplayer game. But if you just compare like what came out last year for Microsoft and what came out for Sony and Nintendo, it's no contest. All
right.
It's like,
well, Nintendo, everything that Nintendo makes absolutely sells. Their attach rate is through the freaking roof. All right, dude. Even on the Wii U, they sold millions of copies of Mario and Zelda. Like,
it's not even close, man. I'm sorry. This generation has been subpar when it comes to first-party exclusives for Xbox. There's no denying it. The whole generation.
When you say this generation, I'm looking at games like Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break.
I mean, was that a system seller? No. Look at the sales there,
dude. They were bashed from the beginning. When it came to Quantum Break, it was like, well, is it 720 or is it 1080?
It's easy.
That was the whole thing about it.
No. It's easy. It's easy to go to those. I hear that that's the argument at all times.
That was the whole thing.
Why can't we just admit that they just weren't system sellers and they're not like must buys and we need to get better?
Dude, I consider
they were stopped at the gate though. I will say that though, like a lot of these games Microsoft's come out with has before they even game releases, It's been slapped in the face, and it's been given a negative stigmatism before it even comes out. They've been digging like some of it's warranted, some of it wasn't. Like, and it's been like it's always been based off of. Go ahead, go Salt.
The thing is like, can we all admit that they had this generation? They haven't come up with a new IP that's on par with Gears of War or Halo, right?
Yeah,
like,
I can admit that.
Can we just say that? So
they haven't had their generational this is a game I got to get the console for.
So that in itself is a failure. This generation, even if you just rest your laurels on that alone is a fail, because we've gone since 2013 without a system seller, a big banger IP that they've created. And that's a problem, because you look at the other side, PlayStation has Horizon Zero Dawn. It was up for Game of the Year. And I know some people don't like that, and that's the way game preference goes. Not everybody's going to like it, but it's critically acclaimed, and you can hang your hat on media bias or whatever else, but that game looks amazing.
They haven't had an exclusive sequel.
We're overusing media bias now. Like that's not media bias at all. That you're 100% right. I didn't like Horizon Zero Dawn, but at the same time, it was something that sold the console. Also, you have to look at deals that were cut. Okay, Sony goes out and cuts a deal with who? From Software. Okay, and they make an outstanding game in Bloodborne.
Facts. And that's a system seller,
consoles, right? Yes. Now it's niche.
Literally.
It is niche. But guess what? You've got everyone that's loved the Dark Souls, the Demon Souls franchise way back to PS2 going out now and going, well, I guess I'll buy a PS4. And I know people that are Xbox fans. Okay, shout out to folks like Sin Vendetta, and a shout out to Scythe Effects, who are big Dark Souls fans that I play with, and Ashton Luca too. My point being is that they went out, and not Ashton Luca, but like the point of the matter is that you had Scythe go out and buy a PS4 because of Bloodborne.
Yes, I do it, Tim.
That's my point. So I agree with you there, Salt. I think that was the case.
Another thing that adds to the fuel to the fire for a subpar generation is the foundation pieces, which you see on all systems, right? Nintendo has the Marios and the Zeldas. Microsoft has their Gears and their Halo. And then Forza is niche, but we can talk about that. No. And then you got the Sony side, they have their God of War, right? Which out of all three of those consoles, like the foundation pieces were subpar in the fact that they got 80 Metacritic or whatever it was.
Halo 5
wasn't the best. Don't worry,
the next Halo, Master Chief won't be able to jump, and he'll throw an axe. Okay. We're good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But so your foundation pieces, your billion-dollar franchises were not up to par, and you didn't have a new IP, and that's just the bottom line, man.
I didn't have any sequel new IPs either.
Yep.
If you think about it, like they like earlier in this generation, I always thought that Microsoft was trying to create a generational game that will expand for another 10 years, and they tried that. And the only thing we've gotten a sequel out of are all the new games they released this generation. Ori. And that's not even out yet. And that's it.
We needed a Sunset 2. I am sorry, but
or a Rise 2.
Or Rise.
Or
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2. Yeah. Well, I would have loved to see something like that. Or Quantum Break 2. But now those games, out of all the ones that came out, the one that we're most likely to get a sequel to is freaking Recore.
Well, the problem with all those games is they're all second-party deals, though, to be really honest with you. And what's going on with Xbox now, they're fixing all that by having more studios under their first-party umbrella, which they are.
But it comes down to Xbox leadership, okay? And no one likes to keep digging, but if you keep digging to the core of everything that everyone said, it comes down to that. And I'll explain what I mean. Like, you have a situation where they go out and get Oblivion, right? Yeah. And you guys are all going to say, no, Mooch, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. It can't be done. Yeah, it can be, okay? You sit at the table, right? And they're like, well, the Outer Worlds? The Outer Worlds coming out, and they cut a deal with whoever it was. Was it 2K? Who did they do their deal with? They did before Microsoft got involved, they had a deal with somebody else to publish, okay? so it's going everywhere. If I'm Phil Spencer, I'm like, hey, Oblivion, how you doing? You guys,
yeah. So they're doing
guys,
that Outer Worlds
right?
game. It's going to be placed,
but it's
by
on
2K.
it's multi-plat, right? And they're like, okay,
it's on PS4. Well, a lot of the new studios that they purchased are coming out with PS4 games as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's bad negotiating.
It is. It's terrible.
Because now you buy it, you buy the IP, you say, no, that's going on. Guess where it's going exclusively, folks?
Well,
hold on. It's not going to just Xbox. It's going to Windows 10 Store. And you might go, oh, Mosh, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. Yeah, you can. Okay, because Epic is doing it, and it's proving to be successful. But the problem is you have Microsoft going in there, and they're like, well, we've been making this game, and we got to deal with so-and-so. Ashen, okay, Salt, you did a review on it. A bunch of you guys did. All right, Ashen had a deal to be exclusive with some. Epic comes in and goes, we'll pay you this amount. You're coming over here. You know what they said? Oh, we're going over there. Okay. This is what
apparently the guy that handles the money for them.
Money talks.
New York.
Everything else
walks.
from
New York, right?
This is the problem.
Yeah.
That's because
we're going over there.
Hey, I'm going to see that party.
The people cutting their deals are over on the West Coast, where it's like, no, you can't do that. Oh, okay, never mind. That's not how you cut a deal. Okay.
Yeah.
We now own this company. We own your IP. Do we own the Outer Worlds? Yes. It's mine. No. I said it's going to 2K. No, it's not. It's not going to 2K. It's mine. It's part of the negotiation deal. We'll pay them off whatever it is. There's money involved. I mean, they got to get paid off. You can't just break a contract, right?
Yeah.
You pay them off, and then you put it exclusively on the Windows Store and Xbox. And that's how you do it. But no, again, another deal where you go to the table, and what do you leave with? Probably Obsidian's best game ever to come out is going to be multi-plat.
Yeah.
Right? And I understand that probably makes Microsoft money, but it doesn't put butts in the seats for the Windows 10 store, which is what they really care about. They don't care about the Xbox. Windows 10 store. But meanwhile, you have Epic going out there, grabbing Division 2, okay, grabbing Metro. You know they're going to, the next big thing coming out, MMO, boom, they're going to grab it. And here you have a situation where Microsoft could have capitalized on Oblivion. This game looks great.
Here's a crazy thought, Mooch. If Windows 10 Store was as big as Steam, we wouldn't have an Xbox right now. Think about that.
Say it one more time.
I said if Windows 10 Store was as big as Steam is, we wouldn't have a fucking console right now.
Well, I don't know.
I will say that, and I
because you
believe
got
that.
console gamers that are consumers, and
Fred,
they're not PC guys.
The reason I don't agree with that is right now Microsoft's already got its foot in the console pool.
Now,
okay?
Yeah.
But hear me out for a second.
Kill that shit off a couple
Why?
Years ago.
Listen, even if they're selling 35, 45, 50 million consoles, they're making money. Okay? Why would they leave that? They won't. They just won't. If they were underwater, yes. But they're making money. Until the day that consoles are completely and utterly dead. I mean, Sony's not making them anymore. Nintendo's not making them anymore. We're in the streaming world, which is ages from now. Until we're there, Microsoft's not leaving. It'll be, well, I'm going to say 10 to 15 years till you can get the overall majority involved with that.
5G, buddy.
5G
right around the corner.
I can't even get 4G on my phone.
Craft's been downloading Metro Exodus since last Tuesday.
They're gonna put a 5G right on the oak tree right next to Crap's house.
I hope so.
That's gonna be it
hey, dude. I hope so, man. But I still ain't gonna stream. I can tell you this right now. When I'm driving, there's still good portions of my drive where I have zero service and I have 4G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So hey, I'd be thankful for that. But I think it's gonna take a little bit more time than that. So
that's my biggest issue, Crap, with moving forward again with Xbox leadership, and people are like, oh, Mosh, give them a break. Let's see what you do. I want to see what they can do as far as what they acquired, because I think they acquired some great talent.
The funny thing is with Obsidian, though, Mooch, is they're already talking about a sequel to Outer Worlds. How would that even work?
That's my point. Guess where? I'll tell you how it'll work. It's going to be everywhere again. That's how it's going to work, Crap. Because you can't have it go out there and then just be on Xbox the next time. It's not going to happen. The problem is that these guys keep going to the table, and at the end of the day, if there was ever a little birdie or a fly on the wall or a camera recording after Phil and company leave the big table, that company over there is like, somebody grab the freaking Shandon. We got him again.
Yeah.
It's like they never cut the deal properly. They're all like Mets general managers. I swear to God. It's like we got Johan Santana just before his arm was about to fall off.
Hey, shout out Timodos. He's also the big MNC winner from Patreon. Support us on Patreon. Link below. $1 and a dream, and you can win a game just like he did. Anyway, so he says streaming games in Australia isn't going to be viable for at least 25 years, which is a great point. Anybody that's gamed with this guy, like Foxy, you game with him all the time. I've gamed with him. Dude lags around like a flip book when we game with him.
But
so.
that's why the next series of hardware coming out, I'm letting everybody know that's going to be the hardware of options, because you're going to have multiple options, and they're going to have like the traditional console really promoted down there in Australia. But when it comes to like Europe, United States, and like the main markets over there, yeah, they're gonna put xCloud out there and see how it does. Definitely, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting it out there. Phil Spencer's already testing it. I'm just saying, it's going to be a while before we get, that as our only
They got to
option.
get 5G over there too, man. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, man, I would love to get something here that works like that.
Everywhere.
By the way, to the smart ass in the comment section, no, AT&T is the provider. I don't Metro PCS maybe 15 years ago or something. I don't know. I remember they used to have those little.
You said that like Alex Trebek. You're like, no, so sorry. It's AT&T.
It's AT&T.
And by the way, in the
Sorry.
chat, somebody said something to me about making fun of the game of the year. Ooh, just because it has that title over it doesn't mean I can't make fun of it. Guys, if you go out there and watch some actual really good reviews, they tell you the good and the bad when it came to God of War. And guess what? There was bad in it, guys. There really was, man.
Let me mention this too. Game of the year is subjective. It might be something that's that these sites have, right? And they come out with Game of the Years every year and this kind of stuff. But it's all just opinion and super subjective, guys. Like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I just it really doesn't. It completely doesn't matter. So I did want to talk, unless anybody else had any opinions on this particular topic. Anybody else? Okay. Well, moving on then. Yes. Moving on. So the Nintendo Switch won the NPD for January. So the NPD numbers leaked. Isn't it funny how they leak when it's really bad months for Xbox Mooch?
Yeah.
So Xbox One in January, 101,000. Yeah. Last January, 235,000.
Well, last January, let's be honest, they're still coming off the high of the Xbox One X.
I get it, but 101,000 when you're almost below 100,000, man, that's kind of bad, in my opinion.
I thought that now I got to kind of go ahead and turn the question around to you. I mean, you said this all day on Twitter. I'll say, Crap, I think you said it best, is you've got the Xbox brass and everybody pushing everything but the Xbox console on Twitter. They don't do any TV advertisements. Everything's grassroots.
I brought that up and I got jumped, man.
You didn't. I thought a lot of people were actually agreeing with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I was getting the boots, man. People were like, "What's Crap saying?" Because I mentioned that I felt as an Xbox only gamer. Like, here's the thing: no matter how much people want to pimp this other stuff out, I'm not a PC gamer. I don't give a shit about play anywhere. I don't play on a PC. I don't play on a phone. I don't play on a mobile device. I don't care about tablets. I actually don't want to be matched up in multiplayer against people on a phone or a tablet or streaming or a PC. You know what I mean? I guess maybe you could say I'm a little stubborn. That's the Italian in me. But, I want to be matched up and have as fair a fight as I can in multiplayer games, right? We've all seen the jokes and if you've ever been matched against somebody that's playing Fortnite on a phone versus a Fortnite on a console, there's a big difference. They can barely move. It's not fun. It gets old after a while. So for me personally, that's not fun to me. I want to see more competitive stuff. To me, Microsoft isn't catering to the Xbox console, and I have felt that way for a little bit. They're more or less catering to get people on as many things as they can, and eventually that's going to cut back. And the plan, I believe, and this is my opinion, right? Don't hate me for my opinion. My opinion is they want to wean people off that Xbox console eventually so that they can get people used to playing these games on other means and save the money by not producing the hardware down the road, right? So right now, if there's what do they say? How many consoles are out there? 39 million or whatever it is, right? Yeah. That's a huge step back from the Xbox 360. Almost 100 million. So maybe next gen they could launch this. They could theoretically launch a $599 console or a version of it, because they don't particularly care if we're playing their games that way, because they're betting big on people streaming games, people playing games on watches, on phones, on all this stuff. The problem is, guys, and I don't know why this isn't a thing at Microsoft. They're not talking to the right people, or they're all yes men. people that play on mobile games, if you ever look at the games people are playing on mobile games, sure, there's people playing Fortnite and stuff. That's the fad. But the majority, like the moms and stuff, they're playing the stuff. Yeah, they're playing Candy. They're playing these casual games. Ain't nobody in their right mind wants.
My mom loves that stuff.
Exactly. So does mine. Ain't nobody in their right mind. Are we gonna see these people booting up Halo Infinite on their little a phone with a little 2.5-inch screen or whatever, or 8, whatever the hell these screens are nowadays. I don't know. You know, like I just don't see that as being a big thing. Yeah. You know, so it is unfortunate. Like, Mooch, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think you kind of nailed it. I think that the problem is when you go to look at the numbers statistically, people will be able to argue with you that they are playing on tablets and they are playing on phones, but those are the Fortnites, the PUBGs on mobile, soon probably to be Apex Legends on mobile. That kind of stuff will be huge. Also, the Candy Crushes and the Angry Birds and things like that. And you can go further back in time. So the numbers show that we're probably wrong, you know, statistically. However, then when you start to look at Metro Exodus and you start to look at games like Bloodborne, you start to look at games like Dark Souls and games that we're all looking forward to, possibly like Borderlands 3 and things that are coming out in the future. Those are games that are not being played on mobile or tablet and won't be by the hardcore. And the hardcore, my friends that are listening, are the 100 million PlayStation 4 owners and the 40 million Xbox One owners and the 40 or 37 million Switch owners. Those are the people that want to play games on dedicated hardware. Now, there's a lot of people playing on PC, so I get their approach to PC, but I don't necessarily get their approach to these AAA games being on tablet and phone. So, yeah, I agree with you on that retrospect there. So, I don't know, Crap. You're not 100% wrong, but the problem is that they're trying to hit. You got to listen to what they're saying. They're saying it, but they're saying you need your Ovaltine decoder ring, okay? They're saying basically they want to hit the 2 billion mark. If they want to hit the 2 billion mark, they need to get the people playing games on their watches as well. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So they have to reach for that. Do I think that they're betting wrong? I think right now they should be betting on two things. PC. PC's a safe bet because even though Sony's fighting it, Sony has to eventually get the PC. They have to. They have to within the next 5 to 10 years. There's no way around it. However, as we go into the PS5 and Xbox 2 or Xbox Anaconda or Xbox Scarlet years, okay, as we go into those years, Sony's still going to have the leg up because we are still in a traditional mindset for gaming. But Microsoft does have the future on lockdown on PC. I just think that they're doing the overemphasis on the mobile market. And I think that's... You know, that's where you're going to lose people because all these great AAA developers and AA developers and indie developers, even the majority of indie developers are focusing on dedicated hardware. And, you know, Sony's still, I think, catering to that crowd. So that's I don't know. Like I said, it's a tough conversation, Crap, because if you're talking about today, Microsoft looks like they don't know what they're doing. If you look 5 to 7 years in the future, Microsoft might look like they've known all along.
Yeah, the thing is, and I don't think you're wrong, and I don't want them to fail at it. I just think that they're betting too heavily on this while not paying while not paying as close attention to this console market that they should, right? Like that you have a potential of hitting over 100 million people if you do it right. To me, like, and we all mentioned this years ago, they sort of gave up once they started announcing Play Anywhere and all this other kind of stuff. Options, right, Mooch? I get it, but at the same time, that does signal that they've kind of given up on this generation. So, I wanted them to go balls to the wall, start off next generation, see what you can do. Then I think towards the tail end, start introducing some of this stuff because I feel at that point, people will be more ready for this kind of thing, right? I think that this is too early. I think it's like the original Fast and the Furious, which is probably still the best, where Paul Walker goes too fast with his NOS, right, and loses. They're pulling that now, and I think that's it's gonna hurt him in the end.
I don't know if you look at. If you look at things, how much money do they actually make off of hardware? I know we're not stockholders, but I don't think they give a shit how much.
All about software, brother.
I don't think they give two shits if they sell 100 million consoles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the bigger picture for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's the deal, Crap. They still said that they're going to have different options, so that's just options. So it doesn't hurt anybody that they're implementing this tech early because they're not saying, hey, this is our way or the highway, get the hell out of Dodge, you can implement it or you can adopt it at your own leisure. If they don't get in right now, they're going to be behind. I mean, they need to implement this technology early so they can stay ahead of the curve. It doesn't take a professional analyst to see that this is the way that the market's going. Google already announced that they're going to be dropping information regarding their streaming service. Amazon's getting into it. You saw Verizon. It's just the big boys are lining up their ducks in a row, and Microsoft, they've proven that they're ahead of the game, almost too far ahead of the game. But I think they're perfect right now because they're seeing the bigger picture. They're not stuck in this mindset of it's only console, it's only this. They can still have their cake and eat it too, per se, because they have Game Pass, so that means that they're lining up their developers to have huge games, and then they can have their streaming service and they can have their consoles. So,
I get what you're saying there. I just like I said, I think that if they're expecting that to be like this huge success anytime soon, I would disagree 100% with that. Actually, I think it's gonna we're not gonna hear much about it for a while after it launches. I think we're gonna, it's not gonna be one of those things that they update us on, and you're gonna be able to tell either way, even if they're not updating us, because it's still going to count as monthly active users.
Well,
we're not going to see a huge increase in those. I can almost guarantee you that.
Well, check this out, man. When with them announcing all these options and stuff and moving into kind of like the next series of hardware and possibly seeing xCloud, having like Xbox games on multiple devices, I think what they're doing for this next series with Scarlet is they're kind of like blending generations. You're a more traditional guy, so you want a traditional console, and that's cool. But with them having the possibility of these games being played on mobile, because kids growing up, they're finally hitting these teenage years. The ones that grew up with their mom throwing them their cell phone and them playing games on there. Xbox is looking at that like, hey, well, what if that game is I don't know, a Halo or that Crackdown or something like that. Now all of a sudden those kids who grew up and are used to the mobile format, they're going to be playing what Xbox is saying. They're going to be playing Xbox games instead of those little like Facebook games or whatever that they grew up on. Because
I just don't think those type of games translate well to these phone screens, man. I'm trying it. Like I've got a almost 7-inch screen on my phone, and I've tried it, and it's just not fun. And I understand, oh, well, they're gonna have a controller mount and this. It's like, if you got time to do all that, don't you got time to just play your game on a console on a big screen? Like, to me, I don't personally see it. And like I said,
but you can't do that in study in high school. You can't do that if you're taking the bus to the mall or something like that, and that's where this would come in.
Man, I don't really see people.
I think we're missing the boat here. I think it goes back to the example I gave. If it's right now, we're talking about the Fortnite and the PUBGs. Okay, fast forward to 5 years when it's the something else and the something else. Okay, that's fine, but you're not going to be able to look. I've even been trying and experimenting with some of the PC stuff. So I've gone from a 65 and 75-inch 4K screen to a 27-inch screen, right? And where the PC is. And even though that's great for competitive gaming in air quotes, it's less field of vision. It just feels like less. So now you're taking that down to a 7-inch screen. Like, you're not going to be playing. I don't think you would really enjoy Assassin's. You might play it. You might play it at the bus stop, but you're not going to enjoy Assassin's Creed Odyssey on a 7-inch screen. I don't care if you're not. You're not going to feel that. So what I'm saying is that I think what you have to understand is the future of mobile is very promising, but it is in the simplistic version of Fortnite, not in the complexity of a Metro or Assassin's Creed or, you know what I mean, or a Witcher 3.
All right, and I hear you guys on this, but I hear you guys talking.
That's not about technology, Xbox. I'm just talking about, just like logistics.
Brother, let me finish. I hear you talking from your standpoint, all right? But you don't fit those shoes of the people or the consumers that I just talked about, the ones who grew up on the mobile platform. Now, for you, yeah, you want bigger field of view and everything like that. The ones that were growing up with that the pad in their hand or the cell phone in their hand, that's what they're used to. You see what I'm saying? So
I see where you're going with that.
You're pointing the benefits out for, having the console with the TV and everything like that, and you're right. But to them, that they're used to the other way.
So let me just throw this curveball at you then, Xbot. Okay, you have enough means right now in your wallet to go buy whatever you want. Why don't you go hang an 8-inch television off of your wall?
I'm not that generation, dude.
It doesn't matter. That generation.
See, no.
Listen, no. Those people in those sneakers you're talking about that I'm not able to understand, according to you, those people are going to eventually get old enough and be old enough and have enough money in their wallet to go buy something that they can enjoy what they were just watching in their pocket on the wall. That's what Crap's trying to say. So what I'm saying to you is that there really is two entities here, okay? There is the market that you're talking about. I'm not refuting what you're saying. All I'm refuting is the type of game, okay? The complexity. I'm not playing Witcher 3 at a bus stop, period. And that's not just me. I can tell you right now, I got kids and I see all the friends that come over. You know what they all play?
Long-ass bus stop,
they play, right? They play Minecraft and they play Fortnite. Now, will that advance in the years? Absolutely. It'll be more of a maybe top-down, crazy type of battle royale game that's even much more in-depth.
Get a couple rounds of Halo multiplayer at the bus stop, no problem, though, bro.
Yeah,
no problem.
It'll be a dumbed down version, though.
It'll be a real dumbed down version.
But that's what they're used to, man. I'm not talking about everybody here on the panel.
Saying, but I also want to point this out, right? Because a lot of schools are cutting out the Wi-Fi at their at those particular spots as well. So, again, that's going to take.
They did that. My son's.
That's why I use
what. They found a way around it.
That's why I say mall or bus stop versus school.
Are you? But also the big difference. Yeah, the big difference between you're also talking about a multiplayer game, and I've yet to believe that they're going to be able to achieve good latency for multiplayer with streaming as well, because we haven't seen that yet. The streaming that Sony offers, no multiplayer there. The streaming that Google offers, no multiplayer there. So it's going to be very interesting to see. If you look at Fortnite and PUBG, you download those and play them, right? You're not streaming them.
If you want to look at games that are going to be on a mobile device that are successful, Xbot, look no farther than your favorite console, the Switch. Okay, so you have
Tetris. What is the number one thing that people talk about? The feature of the
What's
Switch?
The number one thing on the Switch on the go? Fortnite. What I just told you, they're playing on phones. So my point being is that they are playing easy, scalable Tetris 99, Fortnite types of games on the go. You've heard many people on this panel, I know. Listen,
it was Candy Crush, which was even simpler. It's just going to get more advanced.
But the number one mobile games are still those games, though.
They're still those games.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Mario Run or whatever. Pokemon Go.
Yeah, there's a complexity of you're not going to go get all those alkaline of formulas and mix things and this and that while you're sitting there at Panera Bread trying to figure out what kind of 2 for 2 you want to eat. You know what I mean? It's not going to, hold on a second. I'm not sure if I want tomato soup or the actual bisque. Give me a second. I got to take this thing. I got Witcher 3 up my ass. Listen, the point, it doesn't really work that way, dude. So what I'm saying to you is mobile. Think about what the word mobile is. It's on the go. Mm-hmm. Okay? Food on the go. Are you eating filet mignon and lobster on the go? No. That's why when you go to a filet mignon and lobster restaurant, they're not labeled on the go. On the go means I'm playing a game
filet mignon and lobster restaurants aren't number one on the They
don't want to be number one. They don't want to be. They don't want that, Xbox. They want to be
Xbox said they do. They want that $2 billion, brother.
Yes, and they will with that type of game. But you're not going to be playing Halo 8 on your phone. And if you are, I feel bad for your pupils. Okay? It doesn't really work that well.
I want them to do that because I will be playing at home on my console. Bring me people playing
I'm just saying.
I don't care.
Dude, you'll eventually get tired of creaming people that are playing on those laggy-ass connections, man. I'm telling you, you will. You will, man.
And what I'm saying is this is their vision, all right? This is why they're looking at it this way. You see that generation coming up who has lived. Unfortunately.
What is that? I hear something talking in the background.
That's not me. Not me this time.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
never mind.
Listen,
Go ahead.
G-Man, he says, what the fuck have you ever heard of? Listen, he goes, have you ever heard of Wendy's Mooch? That's my point. There's restaurants that scale themselves off of on the go.
Chat that know what I'm saying. There's people in the chat that agree with me, man. I know it. Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm disagreeing with the types of games you're saying that are going to go to mobile. So that's what I'm saying. There's on the go restaurants, G-Man, and then there's sit down fancy steakhouses. Okay, like you don't go to a place where the guy's got $300 bottles of wine. okay? And they're serving you this fillet that was actually kept in a dark room, sitting in wine
I got
sauce,
on
right?
a food reference.
Right? And you're doing nobody. Oh, excuse me, sir. Would you like this $300 bottle of wine and this steak we've aged for 6 weeks in darkness to be wrapped up to go? You want to eat this at the bus stop? No.
Oh shit.
No, right? You don't do that. So you actually eat it at the restaurant. That's what I'm saying. So there's a time you want to play a game at your home, aka restaurant, and there's a time you want to play Fortnite, Candy Crush, Tetris 99 on the go, Wendy's, McDonald's, etc.
I also want to say this. I might be in the minority here. I've never seen an adult playing
What episode is this? I got to record this for later on.
I've never seen an adult in a waiting room or anywhere playing a video game on a phone or a tablet.
Oh,
I've never seen one playing a Vita or a 3DS. I've
Crap,
seen
where
them
do
on
you
the
live,
phone.
though? You live in the
I
you live in the
understand that,
country,
but
though, right?
I do, but I'm just saying, like that has nothing to do with what people do when they're at a doctor.
I play on my Switch at the doctor's. I know I'm gonna have a wait. I bring it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, I don't do that. Like if I'm gonna wait or whatever, it's not. I don't bring any of my mobile stuff with me. I don't.
You go to the DMV. You're gonna wait. Bring it. I mean, you can plan these things out. I mean,
I was just there getting my tag renewed, man. Birthday coming up, but no, nobody's in there playing on no grown man.
Tons of people are playing games on their phones. You're not like looking over their shoulders.
I get it.
You'd be a creeper. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
I get it. I'm just saying I don't see people. I always see people like they're not playing games, because they're not just the way that they're holding with stuff. And most people
they could be playing.
I'm just saying
games
I've just never seen that. You know what I mean?
So what I'm saying is it's all perspective. You know what I'm saying? You haven't seen it, but look where you live.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, but I'm not. I get it, but
we're talking about how big the cell phones are. If you compare the size of the Switch dimension-wise, the cell phone's about the same size.
I 100% have never seen anybody carrying a Switch or a Vita or a 3DS around. No, I've never seen a grown man carry one around. Never have.
That's right. You gotta move.
What you're saying when you say I've never seen a grown man. I've never seen a grown man carry that around. You're actually almost talking down to people that would do it.
No, I'm not. Because I'm just saying I've never seen anybody do that. I'm just saying I've never seen anybody do that. I would love to see somebody do that. I've seen I've seen some like some younger kids and stuff like that carry them around, but I've never seen like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't get that. I don't really think that we're gonna see this influx of people using these ways to carry them around. You know what I mean?
Gray hairs in our beards and stuff like that. I'm not afraid. I'm secure in my masculinity to carry around my Switch and play it. And if people don't like it, they can carry
I think that's cool, man. I don't think it's a fear thing. I just don't think it's as big a thing as
people do. I mean, people love when you talk to people. I've heard it on this panel. The Switch isn't a console. People use it portably. Well, if everybody's using it portably, where the fuck are these people?
The world's most powerful handheld, my brother.
I don't. All I can say is my Switch is hooked up to a TV. I don't use it portably.
So that's what I'm saying. People do. You don't. You got to look at where you're at. Like I said.
I understand. I understand it's kind of a joke. I just got it. Like you guys get the wrong. I live in an actually pretty big city in this area. Sure, it's not. It is rural, right? But it's not like
one of the top, biggest cities population wise. It's not New York or whatever.
Yeah, and I get it. But I also want to point out that Sony also did something similar. You were able to stream games to the Vita, which is a very powerful console and a very good console, a handheld, right? So to me, the fact that nobody really bought onto that, or the fact that they were allowing people to stream to a Samsung TV or a Blu-ray player, Microsoft is copying stuff that Sony did years ago and didn't work. And I'm not sure why they expect
for it yet. Then, bro,
I don't think they're ready for it now.
I just think that it's only sorry about that. It's only a matter of time before these phones come out. They copy the Switch model where you can slide in these controllers to any phone you want, and it's going to be their version of it. And boom, you have a system right there. It's stream. If you have a connection, you have a system, and it's convenient.
And it's fun. It's funny because I think Salt makes a point there. My thing is I'm actually in Salt's camp crap to a certain degree. And you know that I've actually told you this. When I hit the road for work, I do bring my Switch. right? So I do.
Well, you could just bring your laptop, man. Play anywhere, bro.
I don't have a laptop, but thank you for offering to buy me one.
Hey, I don't have one either. If I did, I would love to have one.
I play my Switch on. I've played it on the airplane. I played it in the hotel while I'm chilling. It's like my thing about it is this. Like the one thing I do agree with. Both sides make great points here. My issue is, and so tell me if this has happened to you because we've both done this, right? So while I am playing on the plane, I'm playing Bayonetta 2, right? And I'm trying that game out. I get kind of like, I wouldn't use the word a headache, but like concentrating with all that action going on such a small screen. It definitely passes the time. I've noticed that I've had to pick and choose certain types of games to play on my Switch, right? And most of the time, the games end up being like a Tetris 99 now, or something a little bit more where it's a gradual type of. It's basically
because you don't, and you're talking about a plane. Imagine you're at a doctor's office, you got a 15-minute wait. Are you going to get into The Witcher 3? No.
No, right.
You pick up a game that's not The Witcher 3.
Right.
I know what Mooch is talking about because that's happened to me. Like when I'm in a car and I'm trying to play on my phone or my 3DS, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like the feeling, and I have to play simpler games. But if you're like sitting and waiting for a long period of time, then that is a thing to do. To pull out your phone, play a quick game or something, but not dedicate hours and play, Witcher or like Gears story or anything like that. But I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, at the end of the day, as long as Xbox, for me, is making, consoles like the X or the Anaconda coming up, I have no worries at any of this stuff that will eventually happen in the future. And I can choose to jump on it or not, because it's not going to just be the only way to play.
Yo, Fox, when it comes down, you will have the best of both worlds, because you'll be able to play your games at home on your console like you like. But, when xCloud really kicks up, if you want to play your games and you're out and about somewhere, you can always throw in a couple rounds of whatever you want on whatever device you have.
I think that I think that this whole idea came about. Phil Spencer was probably taking a dump somewhere and was like, you know what? I really wish I could be playing some of my Xbox right now. Yeah, it might have been a double dump. I don't know. But, he
was like, I need some achievements real quick.
Yeah, I need some achievements. You know what I mean? Like, he got tired of playing his PC because we all know Phil's a PC guy. And he was like, hey, man, I really wish I could play this stuff anywhere else but Xbox. And that's how it came about. But here's the thing. I think it's fine. I think it's going to be an option for people just like Play Anywhere. I think it's going to have the same kind of saturation as Play Anywhere. That's just me. I don't take my Switch places because I'm never anywhere long enough to really enjoy a game, I guess. It's like I drive, I work, I drive home. You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen people walking down the street playing games, and I'm like, seriously?
I would not take a $300 and some Switch out with me. Know what I mean? Like, I'd always be worried that thing would break. Playing. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't know. That's a little weird.
Yeah, but we carry $1,000 phone in our pocket.
My phone's definitely not no $1,000 phone. Screw that.
I mean,
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I can't afford that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish. I'm just a poor guy trying to make it in the world.
$2,000
phone. To be honest with you, it's a good point. Like, I've invested a lot of money to take the Switch mobile with me. I've invested money into it. I went and bought that bag that actually keeps everything padded. It keeps the games in it and everything like that. And I put that in the suitcase. Like, the point of the matter, the travel on. My point being is, like, if I'm going from here to Texas or from here to Arizona or California, like, I definitely can see. That's why I bought the Switch, right? I'm not leaving it home. Man, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I'm like, I'm going to take it with me and play. And now that you have games like Doom and other games, it's a lot of fun to be able to jam out and do something like that. And now, with the cross-play that Nintendo and Microsoft have, that's kind of cool. So now, all of a sudden, now I'm saying, yes, I understand we can kind of make the jokes at hotel Wi-Fi, but now I can play Fortnite with Salt or Crap, Pred, Foxy, Xbot on my Switch while
you ain't
I'm on the
playing that
road.
with me. You ain't playing that game.
I don't play no Fortnite, man. Let me know when they get Apex.
We're playing soccer cars.
Soccer cars is a possibility, but maybe Apex. But they already said no Apex on that Nintendo Switch. They're not living that. Yeah, they're not living that Switch life, dude. I don't get it either. One more kind of thing I wanted to talk about a little bit. What's up with Sean Layden, man? He needs to lay off the Xbox Phil Spencer Kool-Aid.
He's a Phil fan. He tried to wear the shirts and everything.
Exactly. He's out there. He did an interview with Xbox. With the Business Insider, Sony Sean Layden, who I guess is the chairman of Worldwide Studios. I thought that was Yoshida's job. Maybe there's been some shifting there. I don't know. But he talked back to the moment while he was on stage with Reggie. Remember the big moment, Mooch, at the Game Awards where they're all three on the stage and people.
Oh, yeah, the moment that took Jeff Keighley his entire existence on Earth to put together?
Yes.
When really it was just a three-way phone con that we do every day at work? Go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, he's like, Reggie, Phil, and I, we all have a lot of time for those outreach activities, and we work pretty well together. So, I'm hoping that we've changed the conversation from competing platforms or, which console won the holiday or which platform won E3 and just look at where we're all bringing to the video game industry from our different perspectives.
He was holding the #1 console owner trophy in his hand when he said that.
He was right, and he's also bringing that up as they're not going to E3 this year. So he's hoping that we don't talk about who won E3 this year because they're not going. So he says, I think Nintendo's doing wonderful things with Switch and the platform is sort of blurring the lines between what's at home gaming and what's on the go. But I also think Xbox has really raced with us on how we're pushing the bar out on technology and quality and what they've done recently with their introduction of an adaptive controller to increase accessibility in gaming is a wonderful innovation. I hope to see more across the industry in support of that. We've been working with accessibility issues quite heavily for some time, particularly with Naughty Dog and what they've done, giving gamers a variety of settings you can change, put into their games depending on what your particular abilities are. So I think as an industry, we all move forward. And I, for one, am going to stop talking about using phrases like competitive platform because I think we're all supporting and leading an entertainment revolution of gaming. All hands to the till. We're all in this together. And that's the most schmarmy, assholey thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's that's not kumbaya at all. What that is, actually, it sounds like he went to the Crapgamer school of learning how to write titles for Xbox Nation. I got news for you. Right? I think that was some grade A bullshit. God bless him. That was great. Listen, let me tell you what Sony loves. Sony loves to win. Okay, Sony loves to win. And if what he was saying was true, they'd have cross-play on everything. But guess what? They don't. And we know that he said that it was easy and they'd be willing to do it. And developers came out and said, no, they won't.
Do it.
So they don't. So if this is one big global market to bring gamers together in kumbaya, then why don't you open your technological doors and let crossplay exist on everything and every game that's possible? Because they don't want to. What he did was very smart. And anybody that's reading that and thinking it's
super
kumbaya,
smart. Yeah.
You're missing out. What he just did right there is a backdoor attack. What he did was he said, okay, Phil's going out there and doing all these good graces. We can't constantly look like the bad guy. Sony's starting to look bad because we don't allow this, and this. What does he do? He comes out and gives basically a regurgitated speech that Phil gave last year at DICE. Yeah. And right, it's the same thing. And you know what that does? It doesn't hurt them at all. Does it help them? Who cares? They're already the winner. They're the leaders on the console front. They don't care if it puts them ahead. All they want to do is stop it from dragging them behind. Yeah. So they go out there, they make that kind of a speech, and it was very intelligent to do that. That was a great move by Sean. I got news for you. Strategically, if you ask me right now, Mooch, who do you want leading your division in console? I would take Sean Layden over Phil Spencer in a heartbeat. He's a much, much more cutthroat executive, and that's what you need. What he did right there was genius. He's definitely doing what the Jeff Keighley's want to hear, what the gaming media wants to hear. To a lot of people that just read the clickbait, gamers want to hear that we are all together on a united front. Bullshit. No, they're not. Sony's out there to win, and good for them. Yeah. Capitalism at its finest. They're doing their thing. But what he did right there was he stopped the bleeding of Sony's the bad guy. They don't want to do a unified front. He's saying they do. So now anytime somebody says Sony doesn't want to do that, they'll go, well, wait a minute. I have an article right here that shows that Sean Layden actually said he does. And then you can't combat it. But realistically, they don't have to do it. And they're not doing it. And you can see it by their actions. Remember, actions speak louder than words. So when you have all these CEOs or these heads of Xboxes, heads of Sony, heads of Apple getting up there and giving these predominant speeches, and you guys are all falling for it, hook, line, and sinker, look at what their actions are after the speech. We can all say what we do, right? But do we do what we say? And that's the difference. And Sean Layden actually should be put on a pedestal for that, because the fact of the matter is the gaming media, hook, line, and sinker, took the bait.
Exactly. Anybody else want to chime in on this real quick? Yellow. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think, man? Is he sipping the Kool-Aid, or is he just blowing smoke?
If he really felt that way, he would have said it at the Game Awards. Like, cross-play across the board, everything that Microsoft is doing, we're going to do the same or something similar for our audience. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it, really, because I don't care for the dude or anything like that. But as soon as you guys pointed some stuff out, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. They're doing that just to soften the blow on all the other things that people are asking them for right now.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but the way Mooch put everything together, his argument together, yeah, I got to give. There's a notch in his belt right there. Great job,
Mooch.
I appreciate it.
Mooch really did nail it in terms of what I think as well. It's very, he said it basically as good as you could say it. You know, like, here's the thing: Sean Layden is going on this PR tour, and he needs to. Why? Because Sony's not doing anything this year, right? They're not announcing the PS5. They're not doing E3. They're not doing anything. Dreams and Days Gone. Congratulations. I hope they're awesome. But again, they're out of the news. Exactly. So you've got to come out there and stay relevant somehow. So he's saying all this stuff. The problem is some of the stuff he's saying doesn't really add up. Like this. Oh, we're not going to mention competing platform. He's so full of shit. They're going to always mention that. They're winning. They kicked the crap out of Microsoft. Of course they're going to, it's easy to say when you look back and you see you've got, 60 million more consoles sold. Of course it's easy to say that. He says, hey, all developers have to do is ask us to do crossplay and we'll listen and we'll do it. And then you have developers come out and say, we asked and they didn't listen. They said no like 10 times. So he's out there doing this. He's staying in the news, trying to keep PlayStation relevant in the news at a time when sales are down, obviously. I mean, they weren't down as much as Xboxes, but still down. And you might go, well, everybody has a PlayStation, maybe, but I don't know. So it is interesting to kind of hear how that sort of goes. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like button, all that kind of good stuff. We really do appreciate it as we kind of close out the show. Mooch, what do we got going on this week, bro?
Buddy, we got a great week coming up. We've got a Crossfire, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and I don't want to ruin anything. I'll let Xbot do the announcement later. A lot of special things going on Saturday, and then we've got MNC show. How about that? MNC show, 11 a.m. Eastern time on the Mooch 78's channel as well this week. Looking forward to it. We got a lot of giveaways. We got a wheel to spin. We've got a lot of voicemails coming in from what I hear from Godang, and a special reviewing or a re-showing from our boy Space Cat. I'm very excited to hear from Space Cat.
Oh, very excited. Yes, okay.
The one and only Space Cat is back this weekend, guys. So definitely tune in to Crossfire 7 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. And thanks, Crap. Great show tonight.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, man. No problem, man. Looking forward to hearing that. Salty, what do you got going on? You back next week?
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah, we have the giveaway finally for Anthem tomorrow on the Salty's Gaming Podcast. So show up for that. You might win either Xbox or PlayStation. Drop in my review for Crackdown 3 tomorrow morning. We're going to do a premiere for that so you can hang out while that's going on. It's the first time that I'm going to be doing that. Try that out. We'll see if my computer blows up or not. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's about it, man.
Absolutely. Foxy, what do you got going on?
Nothing much. Check me out on Twitter. Check out my channel as I post videos and whatnot. And I'll be back here next week. Just taking it chill because I'm looking forward to Anthem and I'm hearing weird things. So I can't wait to play the game myself.
Anthem sitting at a 67 right now on Metacritic, by the way.
I don't know who she is. I played the trial and I really enjoyed it. So I'm just gonna, stay away from that stuff and then try the game myself. That's it.
All right. No problem. And we also have got Xbot 448. What's going on?
He said it right. Yeah.
Exactly. The littlest cowboy. What's up?
Oh no. All right. Well, of course I am gonna be on Mooch's channel Friday for Crossfire. I am there just about every Friday. But not only that, in return, as a special guest this Saturday, we will have the man, the myth, the legend, Mooch
Yes.
on next podcast. Opinionated panel, even more opinionated special guest. It is going to be a fire show.
Looking forward
Saturday,
to it, buddy.
7 p.m. Dude, I cannot wait, man. You know, you and Crap, you guys have been on multiple times. Every single time you guys come on, it is a killer show. I can't wait, man.
That sounds exciting. I'm excited. And we also got Predator. What's up, man? What do you got going on?
Nothing. I'll be on next podcast Saturday, and I've not heard from anybody for the rest of the week. So next podcast Saturday, vote for Pred.
Vote for Pred.
I'll get Fort Tarsus and Anthem. How about that?
And hey, unless the Don has some mud trucks, right? Then we can vote for the Don.
No, just vote.
No.
No. Never vote for mud trucks, people. Never.
Hell yeah. And with that being said, please like it out, share it, all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate you guys checking out the show. We'll catch you next time. Make sure you guys subscribe to everyone here. Rack 'em up. Have a great night. Later.
Peace.